One of the most frequent questions that I get is looking for an update. How am I doing? I'll give you the short answer and then elaborate a little bit. The truth is a little more complicated. But the short answer is that I'm doing really well. I consider myself basically 100% healed from my chronic illness, from that limbic dysfunction, thanks to 6 months of intensive DNRS training back in 2020. Back in 2020, I started in January 2020. It's now, as I'm recording this, May 2022. So yeah, I feel like I've been out of the woods for almost 2 years, and certainly over the last stretch, look. I mean, it never occurs to me that I am going to get sick from any sort of environmental exposure. It just doesn't cross my mind any longer. Uh, Going into an old musty building or an old office or what have you, opening up some old books. I mean, that's the kind of thing that would used to get me. I would avoid assiduously, and now it doesn't. Again, it just doesn't even cross my mind to worry about it. So by that measure, yeah, I think I am, completely healed. I've got my brain back, my energy back. All that has been restored. Um, the little bit more complicated version is that uh, it is the case that very occasionally, that is very rarely, uh, I will feel a slight, I don't know, limbic kind of rumble. It's not coming from environmental stuff. It comes from other causes, just circumstances and so forth. But by rare, I mean months and months can go by without any inkling of any sort of limbic, the old limbic pathways reactivating. Um, it happened just a few weeks ago, and it was so rare that it took me a while to figure out that it was my limbic system that was making me feel a little off. And I did go back to revisit some training, not the old intensive full training, but talking to my limbic system and telling it what's what. And it was pretty easy to fix and get back on track. And the way I think about that is when I was doing the original DNRS training, those first 6 months, what I was doing was trying to really establish, ingrain some new neural pathways to replace and supplant the dysfunctional ones that were leading to my symptoms. So that was the heavy work, digging the trenches. What happened most recently was, I think, those old dysfunctional pathways. I guess is what I learned from the process recently, from what I went through recently, was that it's not as if they've just disappeared into the wind. They haven't vanished. There's some remnant of them there that can be, and I suspect will from time to time fire up to some degree. Again, this is very mild. But so what I had to do wasn't to I wasn't back to square one. That was clear. I was not back to square one. I just had to tell my limbic system, okay, look, we're back over here to these the new neural pathway, and that's where you need to flow and just kind of get back into the rhythm that I had been in. So it felt like a fairly easy correction, but again, I did learn something, and yeah, I think that's something I'm going to have to be aware of and keep an eye out for. One other thing that I will say connected to that is, even though I don't do anything like DNRS training, I still have developed a routine that really is a sort of, I don't know, limbic system maintenance and care. I feel like someone who suffered an injury, discovered a weak link, went through physical therapy. And as you know from, if you've watched my videos, I really do think about DNRS as literally physical therapy, because these neural connections are physical. gone through physical therapy and strengthened the system around my weak point, so that in a way I feel limbically stronger than I ever was before, but still aware that there's this old injury, and so I need to keep up the strengthening for the sake of avoiding any sort of relapse. Not that I'm particularly worried about it. I think I feel good. So and just I mean briefly, for me, it's a matter of I'll like to go for walks in the woods by myself, and I'll talk to myself. That's a habit that I picked up. I try not to do it in public too often, or if I do, I'll put the pick up a phone, pretend I'm talking on the phone. But um, yeah, it just helps get my head straight, get myself organized, set my priorities. Um, I don't know, just kind of feel grounded. And if you want to call that limbic training, then sure, I think it is a sort of limbic training. But it's not DNRS, and it's just I think part of being I don't know, psychologically healthy or something like that for me right now. So anyway, so that's my update. Appreciate the questions. Keep them coming. One last thing that occurs to me, I know that for a lot of you, there's a lot longer haul than it has been for me. I do feel fortunate, very fortunate, that I've come through the other end of this. And so what I hope is that, just these videos, this update will show you a light at the end of the tunnel and help give you motivation to keep doing that hard work that is limbic retraining. It's rewarding, and yeah, you're going to be so glad that you did it. There is, if this is the issue for you, if it's a limbic dysfunction, it is fixable, and you're going to get your energy back, you're going to get your mind back, you're going to get your limbic health back. So stick with it. All right, take care. Bye.